In this video, Life Faculty shares why are groceries so expensive? The hidden story behind rising food prices. Whether you're a student, entrepreneur, or just trying to stay on track in everyday life, these tips will help you take action and stay focused. You walk into the grocery store with a list. Milk, bread, eggs. You leave with a receipt that feels more like a warning sign than a tally. Food costs are rising faster than most people can keep up with. And it's not your imagination, groceries really are more expensive than ever before. But behind the rising prices is a tangled web of global disruption, economic strategy, and changing climate. This is the hidden story behind rising food prices, and why your dinner is costing more than ever. How COVID-19 disrupted global food systems. It began with a cough. Then a lockdown. Then a global crisis. When COVID-19 hit, it didn't just affect health. It struck the systems that feed us. Workers vanished from fields. Factories shuttered. Transportation stalled. Shelves went empty. For the first time, we saw just how fragile the global food system really is. And the costs of that disruption are still echoing through our grocery stores today. War in Ukraine and its global food impact. In 2022, war broke out in one of the world's most vital agricultural regions, Ukraine. Together with Russia, Ukraine supplied nearly a third of global wheat. But as tanks rolled across fields and ports were blocked, exports stopped. Bread, pasta, cereal, suddenly, everything made with grains got more expensive. And the impact wasn't local. It rippled across Africa, the Middle East, and even your local supermarket. Fuel costs and their ripple effect on food. Every step of food production runs on energy. Tractors in the field. Trucks on the road. Refrigeration in storage. So when fuel prices soar, food prices follow. Diesel shortages, high gas prices, and disrupted oil supply chains have added invisible dollars to every item in your cart. That apple? It traveled hundreds of miles to get to you. That journey now costs more than ever. Climate change and crop failures. The weather used to follow patterns. Not anymore. Droughts in California. Heat waves in India. Floods in Pakistan and Brazil. Each one destroys crops, weakens harvests, and drives up costs. Climate change isn't some future threat, it's already reshaping the food supply. When crops fail, prices rise. And the poorest are always hit the hardest. Corporate profits and greedflation. While shoppers tighten their budgets, many large food corporations are celebrating record profits. How? Because they raised prices far beyond what was necessary to cover costs. Economists call it greedflation, a quiet surge in profit margins hidden behind inflation's mask. For companies, it's smart business. For consumers, it's a painful squeeze. Labor shortages and food processing delays. It's not just what's grown, it's who grows, packs, and moves it. During and after the pandemic, labor shortages hit hard. Fewer workers in fields. Fewer drivers on highways. Fewer staff in grocery stores. That labor gap caused delays. Fewer products on shelves. More spoilage. Less competition. And once again, the price went up. Currency fluctuations and global price disparities. Most global food trade happens in US dollars. So when the dollar rises, it becomes more expensive for other countries to import food. It's not that the food changed, it's that your currency buys less of it. This hidden factor silently shifts prices, deepening the gap between rich and poor countries, and driving up costs where people can least afford them. Export bans and global food protectionism. When food becomes scarce, countries panic. India bans wheat exports. Argentina holds back beef. Other nations start stockpiling, trying to protect their own populations. But protectionism has a dark side. When one nation locks down its supply, others face shortages, and prices spike. In a global system, going solo makes everything worse. Food speculation and market manipulation on Wall Street. Food isn't just nourishment, it's an investment. Traders buy and sell futures, betting on shortages and volatility. In times of crisis, this speculation can drive prices even higher, faster, far beyond what actual supply and demand would dictate. It's not about feeding people. It's about making money off their hunger. Centralized food systems and fragile supply chains. Most of your food passes through a handful of massive companies. That's efficient, until it isn't. When a single meat packing plant closes, or a major distributor delays, millions feel it. A centralized system means fewer backups and less resilience. And when that fragile chain snaps, grocery prices spike. Shrinkflation and hidden price increases. Sometimes, the price doesn't go up, but the package gets smaller. Shrinkflation. A quiet way to charge more without changing the label. Fewer chips. Less cereal. Smaller servings. You pay the same, or more, for less. It's inflation's sneakiest trick. Food waste and missed opportunities. 1/3 of all food is wasted. Lost in fields. Spoiled in transport. Tossed in kitchens. That waste doesn't just cost the environment, it drives up prices for everyone. If we saved even a fraction of that lost food, we could ease pressure on the system and reduce hunger worldwide. Panic buying and consumer behavior. When shelves start to look bare, people buy more, not less. From toilet paper to eggs, panic buying turns fear into real shortages. The rush empties stores, overwhelms supply, and fuels inflation even faster. In trying to protect ourselves, we sometimes make the problem worse. Rising retail costs and store-level inflation. Grocery stores are struggling too. Rent is up. Utilities are up. Labor costs are rising. To survive, stores pass those expenses on to you, one price tag at a time. From energy bills to employee wages, the cost of running a store is a hidden force behind rising prices. The unequal burden of expensive groceries. Food is essential, but it isn't equally affordable. Low-income families spend a far higher share of their income on food. When prices rise, they skip fresh produce, cut back on protein, and stretch meals thin. Meanwhile, healthier options are often the most expensive. A full fridge doesn't just cost more, it demands privilege. Public health impact and food access. When healthy food is out of reach, people turn to what they can afford: processed, calorie-dense, nutrient-poor options. Over time, that leads to higher rates of obesity, diabetes, and heart disease, especially in poor communities. The real cost of food inflation shows up in emergency rooms, not just on receipts. How local farmers are being squeezed. Small farmers are the backbone of our food supply, but they're being squeezed from every side. Rising fuel. Expensive fertilizer. Climate uncertainty. Many are quitting or selling off land to large corporations. With fewer farmers, our food system grows more fragile and less connected to the people it feeds. Hope, solutions for a fairer food future. It doesn't have to be this way. Local food systems reduce distance and cost. Regenerative farming rebuilds soil and sustainability. Reducing waste could feed millions. The answers aren't far-fetched, they're already working, in small pockets around the world. What you can do to help change starts with awareness, but it doesn't stop there. Support local farmers. Waste less. Ask how your food is made, where it comes from, and who profits. Vote for leaders who prioritize food equity and environmental sustainability. You have more power than you think. Final thoughts. Rebuilding the system. Groceries are expensive. That's the symptom. But the causes are global, complex, and deeply human. This isn't just an economic story, it's a story about justice, resilience, and the future of how we eat. Because food isn't just fuel. It's life. And it's time we treated it that way. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more investigative documentaries and educational content about economics, society, and global issues.